So it's been oddly quiet regarding the SEC versus Ripple case, but maybe that's because the next motion coming up for decision is the motion that the SEC wants to strike Ripple's fair notice defense from actually happening. I kind of doubt that's going to happen, but we'll see. But in other news, Ripple continues to expand its usage of RippleNet and the amount of banks and countries that are using it for remittances. Just a couple days ago, another huge remittance corridor was opened up. I'm going to tell you where in the world it is and why it's such big news. And since RippleNet and XRP usage is skyrocketing, why isn't the price of XRP actually moving? Well, it is and it isn't, and I'm going to talk about it in this video. And in other economic news, Elon Musk took shots at Bernie Sanders on Twitter. I'm going to tell you what he said in 3 different tweets that went after Bernie's age, taxes, and Tesla stock. Hey everyone, my name is Randy, and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now on this channel, I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And if you're feeling generous today, I'd really appreciate it if you do 2 things. Number 1, hit that thumbs up button. And number 2, watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the 2 best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So I have to start off with the tweets that Elon Musk fired back at Bernie Sanders. Now, earlier in the day, Bernie Sanders had sent out a tweet which echoes his political stance, which is basically more taxes. And in that tweet, he said, "We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period." Well, Elon Musk quickly fired back at that tweet and responded, "I keep forgetting you're still alive." And he also followed that up with, "Want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word." And he followed that up with, "Okay, how much do you think is fair? Is 53% sound reasonable?" And finally, he followed that up with, "Bernie is a taker, not a maker." Taking big shots at the fact that Bernie Sanders has been a lifelong politician and not exactly a big name in adding to the GDP of the country. And those are facts. Also, I want to make a quick note, as Joe Biden has just signed a new $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill here in the United States, and in it was actually a regulatory amendment that was going after cryptocurrencies and how it reported to the IRS. Now, it was going back and forth for quite some time over the summer. It has specific language in it that refers to miners, wallet developers, other blockchain developers, essentially as brokers, putting them in the middle of having to report to the IRS transactions that they have no control over, or nor can they see who's making these transactions. Well, there was a bipartisan amendment that is actually being put forth by Democratic Senator Ron Wyden and Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis. And what they're doing is they presented this amendment that would allow for more leniency specifically for those categories of people that would fall into the definition of broker but really aren't a broker, such as miners, wallet developers, and other blockchain developers. In fact, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says she supports the amendment, and those laws that were actually just signed into bill, they won't go into effect until 2024, so they do have some time to actually put that amendment into effect. And before I talk about Ripple and its price because of some recent big news, I wanted to talk about some bigger news that's going on right now, and that is the talk of the Bitcoin market cycle. Now, there are a lot of people giving their opinions on when Bitcoin is actually going to top out this market cycle, how long this market cycle is actually going to last, but I wanted to ask you guys what your opinion of it is. I follow many different technical analysis as well as on-chain analysis pretty much on a daily basis, and I can see 2 schools of thought coming together. Now, I follow Blockchain Backer. He does great, amazing, in-depth technical analysis. He covers XRP quite a bit. And one of the things that he's actually calling for is a very, very low top price point for Bitcoin this market cycle. He's actually only calling for about 74,000-ish at the top, and then it's going to turn into a bear market from there. He also doesn't believe in an extended market cycle. And there's a few other that have sort of echoed those statements as well, but I noticed a lot of the people that do this analysis are strictly on the pricing and technical side of this, not necessarily digging into the fundamentals. They don't necessarily dig into the on-chain analysis, and they don't necessarily dig into the market cycle analysis. For that, I look to guys like Will Clement, Willy Woo. There's Plan B on Twitter, who of course is the adapter of the stock-to-flow model and adapting it to Bitcoin. As well as Benjamin Cowen, who does amazing research on market cycle analysis. And when you look at those side of things, they're actually calling for quite a significantly higher Bitcoin price point. For those guys, it ranges anywhere from 120,000 to 250, even 300,000 potential top for Bitcoin, and their market cycle peak tends to be extending a little bit, especially if you follow Benjamin Cowen. says this market cycle peak probably won't peak out until sometime in possibly February, possibly even March. And I just saw some analysis earlier today that kind of took what those guys said and meshed it into their own opinion based on all the technical analysis charts, based on all of the on-chain charts, and all of the market cycle analysis, put them all together and said, we're not necessarily going to have an 80% pullback like we have in all these other bear markets, when Bitcoin had his blow off top and then crashed. This speculation said Bitcoin is just going to kind of continue its run up, and it's going to have a series of maybe 30 to 50% pullbacks, but not necessarily a major crash point. It's an interesting thought process. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave your comment in the comment section down below. What do you think Bitcoin will be topping out at? What's your price point? And what month do you think that actually blow off top will happen? And now finally into some Ripple news. It was actually just the other day, a new payment remittance corridor was opened up on RippleNet. And this is a big one because it actually involves the 6th largest remittance country in the world. Now this one specifically is going to be going from the United Arab Emirates into Pakistan. Now this program will be rolled out and used by Bank Al Fallah, and it's actually going to be used as a pilot program for these two countries to use RippleNet and XRP as the remittance corridor. And if it goes well, there's going to be 6 other countries, essentially 6 other remittance corridors opened up if all goes well. And it seems like now every single week I'm talking about a new update for a new remittance corridor that is just opened up, but this one's especially big because it's in the Middle East. The Middle East is the biggest remittance corridor in the entire world, specifically for cross-border payments for remittances from country to country. So if it's such big news, then why hasn't XRP price moved much? Well, a couple of reasons. I've recently seen that the price has been really fixed to Bitcoin the last couple of months, except for a couple of days here and there when it had its own moves. The other one, of course, is the price suppression that's going on with the case versus the SEC, as Blockchain Backer proved through his video that there is a major price suppression, as XRP really should be between $10 to $15 right about now, if there was no SEC case. Because I see complaints not just on the comment section of my videos, but also on Twitter all over the place about XRP. If everything's going so well, why isn't the price moved? But the price has moved. In fact, if you go back and zoom out, you can see that in the past year, it's went from 20 cents up to $2 pretty quickly. Then it came back down to about 50 cents, ran up to $1.40, and now it's been settling in at about $1.15 to $1.20 recently. But like I said, a lot of that is because it's coupled to Bitcoin. So when can we expect some price movements? Well, some people think any day now, because these charts are pointing to an inflection point where XRP's price should climb, regardless of what Bitcoin and the rest of these cryptos are actually doing. But let me know in the comment section below if you think that's true or not, because historically XRP typically makes its moves after Bitcoin makes its big move. But based on some technical analysis, this year could be different. Now, some of the factors that could be impacting the price of XRP this year specifically still revolve around the case versus the SEC, but not necessarily Ripple winning it outright or even settlement, but the specific motions, if they get approved or denied, could have some significant impact on the price of XRP. But if you watched my last couple of videos, you also know that there are airdrops coming to XRP holders. We know that Binance and Binance US now say they are going to be supporting the Songbird airdrop for XRP holders. If you watched my video a couple days ago, I talk about the Solo airdrop coming to XRP holders. So you might want to go look up the price of Solo and see what's going on there. It actually ran up almost 50x and has since pulled back a little bit and is sitting at about $2.20 right now. And I've also noticed in the last 24 hours that most of its price moves have actually coincided with what Bitcoin is doing, which right now it is deep in the red. So let me know if you're buying the dip. And if you want to know where you can get the Sologenic Solo token, I will have a link down in the description below where you can get that. You can also go to CoinMarketCap.com. It'll list several exchanges it'll list several exchanges in Solo subscription where you can go get it there. And a final point on the Solo airdrop, I've been getting several questions on Twitter, notably who's actually going to support the airdrop if you're an XRP holder, if you're a Solo holder, which wallets are going to be supporting the snapshot, which exchanges are going to be supporting the snapshot. And that is, it's going to differ on a case-to-case basis. I know in the case of wallets, you actually have to have a trust line created, and exchanges where you actually hold XRP in Solo those are going to differ on a case-by-case basis. So, but if you are not following me on Twitter, I'll put a link down in the description below. You can follow me there. As soon as I find out information on that, I will be tweeting it out. So there's a couple different exchanges I got my eye on. Number one, Uphold. Number two, Coinbase, although I won't be holding my breath on Coinbase. Binance, of course, and a few others. So if you're keeping up with these airdrops, make sure you subscribe to the Late Night Grind if you want to follow along with that and many other topics. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Give it a big thumbs up and watching all the way to the end. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.